So welcome for this practice. Our focus today is on the Brahmaviharas, and we're going to get there by eradicating the physiological residue that comes from suffering, that comes from conditioning, comes from the stress of daily life, and it accumulates in us. Often we're acclimating to that. We don't even realize how much it's accumulated until we deaccumulate it. And then we might realize, oh, I was carrying a lot. So our practice today is to remove some of that physiological residue and then to rest in the inner quiet where we can recognize the indwelling suchness of our heart. And that indwelling suchness includes the Brahmaviharas, the divine abodes of the heart, Karuna, Mayatri, Mudita, Upekshanam, compassion, loving kindness, appreciative joy, and equanimity. Okay, let's start the practice. I'll see you there. Welcome for practice. This morning, we're going to be exploring again pranayama to support the installation of compassion in our hearts, and then to have the realization that it was already there. So in yoga, we have a teaching called the Brahmaviharas. Brahmavihara means the divine abodes of the heart. And these are the qualities that are already natively installed. They are a part of our human capacity, our human expression. They do sometimes get crowded out by the human condition. So let's call the human condition and then the human capacity. We have this potential that many people are not tapping into because we also are mired in our conditioning. And this kind of shared humanity has both the brilliance of what we're capable of and the difficulty of what we're also capable of. So let's do some work to eradicate the tie that conditioning has on our nervous system, and then to realize that which is already there, that which is already installed. So please take a comfortable seat. You can rest your hands in your lap. Those of you who've signed in early for class, you saw my kitties were having their salmon treats, so I am surrounded by salmon treat crumbs on my yoga mat. It's not awful, but they might come back to finish up their little snacks they were having. You go ahead and close your eyes if you like. You can rest your hands in your lap. Bring your attention inward and downward. As you lengthen up through the crown of your skull, equally drop down into your pelvis. And in between those 2 points, that which is descending and that which is ascending, in between those 2 points, allow your body to breathe you as it knows how to do. Don't force anything to happen, but simply welcome the intelligence of the breath. What you might notice is that even the act of simply welcoming the breath is an act of surrender, including trust and respect. Trusting that your body knows how to breathe you and respecting its inherent intelligence to do so. There's a teaching in the Yoga Sutras that recommends that we simply observe the unaltered breath. Simply observe the unaltered breath. Watch it coming and going without intruding. You might be noticing that that is not so simple, even though it's a simple instruction. Simply observing the unaltered breath requires some delicate concentration. You're likely to notice that your mind wanders away. The way that you bring it back can be more gentle, not more severe. No need to judge where the mind goes. No need to complete a certain thought. Simply to come back again and again. And the more gently you do that with consistency, it's going to be more powerful for keeping you in the concentration, dharana, of the unaltered breath. Please raise your hands to your heart. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Punakto Savidyang Karavavati Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidveshalahi Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Punakto Savidyang Karavavati Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidveshalahi Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Punakto Savidyang Karavavati Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidveshalahi Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Guru Pyo Namaha Hari Om. You may bow your head to your heart. Our endeavor is to know that which is already abiding within our hearts: compassion, loving kindness, appreciative joy, and equanimity. Release your hands as you're ready to. Please open your eyes. So the conditioning that we experience in our bodies has been happening since we were infants. So this conditioning, it has a long pattern, a long history. Not only that, we came into the soup of conditioning in the family in which we were born, in the community in which we were born, in the society in which we were born and raised. So all of these influences are upon us, and we absorb conditioning by our porous nature as infants. We're also taking it in through our senses, which are highly porous as a young person, as a developing brain and body. And yet we don't have any elegant interpretation skills. When we're infants and toddlers and children, excuse me, we don't have elegant interpretation skills. So we can't really interpret things with the neocortex because it doesn't come online at our earliest years. So we do interpret through the animal mind, the manas, and the animal parts of the brain, the limbic brain and the lizard brain. And those earliest interpretations can last with us for quite some time because it installs for us a sense of our anticipations of the world around us. And these are called relational anticipations, but it also sets up what we filter for in our daily life, and that comes through your reticular activating system. You pick up default mode networks, and then we're anticipating how the world will be experienced, how the world will receive us, and how our relationships are meant to unfold, what we can expect, beneficial and non-beneficial. So all of that conditioning lives in us, and there's a physiological component that is constantly adjusting our biochemistry. And so some of those interpretations in daily life come through the senses, into the thalamus, into the amygdala and hippocampus, and it's interpreted towards threat. And that interpretation picks up our survival mode networks, and we go into the biochemistry of the sympathetic nervous system or the dorsal vagal nervous system. We're going to fight or flee, we're going to freeze or collapse. But when I speak about eradicating the conditioning in us, I'm talking about doing some housekeeping chores, dusting the mirror of the mind, cleansing the inner body, moving prana to recalibrate it and have ourselves then sit in the beauty of that which we actually are, and not in the difficulties that conditioning can cause and then perpetuate. So we'll do a breathing practice that helps us to disarm or to blow off, to kind of off gas, we say, what we've been carrying. And what we'll do is a breath practice that you do strong exhales using the lower belly. And as you're blowing the breath out, 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 think of it as cleansing, 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 because you're stimulating the organs in the abdomen. And you're also using the exhale breath, which is a cleansing part of the breath. After many of those exhales, about 30 or so, we're going to inhale and bring the breath up, up, up from the low belly, mid-torso to the heart. And then we're going to hold the breath in this position. That means that we're using the bandhas to seal the breath in. So that's pelvic floor, the low belly comes in and up, the chin comes down and in. And as we suspend the breath, we're going to brighten the chest and the heart, brightening that which is already alive in our hearts: compassion, loving kindness, appreciative joy, equanimity. Okay, so we'll do it as a pulse with the exhale, exhale, exhale. You'll likely hear my breath. Of course, you go at your own pace, but you might want to match my pace so that it's rhythmically not speeding up or slowing down. So it goes like this. One long exhale. Breathe in through your nose, low, mid, and upper. And then suspend. Release the bandhas. Release the breath in your own timing. Now we're going to repeat that. Let's call this Bastrika. It's the form that I learned as Bastrika. There are other forms of pranayama that are also called Bastrika, but we're going to call this one Bastrika. So we'll do it again. It's about 30 exhales. Keep tone at the base of your seat. You should not feel like the body is jolting, nor should it seem to you that there's downward pressure on the pelvic floor. So you tone the pelvic floor, and that's going to strengthen this lower dantian to do the exhales for you. And again, it should not feel like you're pushing down on the pelvic floor, nor that the body is jolting with each exhale. Breathe in as you're ready to. Breathe in up to suspension. And then exhale in your own timing. And watch once again the unaltered breath. Now bring your right hand up for Pratyuloma Pranayama. So what you've done so far is you've stimulated the dantian. And sometimes in this practice, you also end up stimulating your mind. So we're going to draw prana down a bit right now. Vata and Pitta dosha tend to rise, often unhelpfully. So we're going to draw them down so that prana comes into the lower body. We close each of the nostrils part way, and that causes an inhale resistance that needs your diaphragm to pull down. And that's why we have this downward pulling sensation for the doshas and for prana. So it'll be a longer, slower inhale. And you can just release the exhale like a sigh. You'll unpinch the nose, right? And release the exhale like a sigh. And then you'll gently close the nostrils again. So there's only maybe a 50% opening to the nostrils. And let's begin. Now, though the inhale has this resistance on it and the diaphragm is pulling down more, you are still going to inhale first third, middle third, upper third of the torso. That means you're filling the lungs more completely. And treat each exhale as a sigh. And then wait for the next inhale to feel like the body's ready for another round of pratyaloma. We'll do about 5 altogether. So perhaps you have one more round to do. Of course, you're working at your own pace. And return your hand to your lap. Notice again the unaltered breath. And listen for that in you, which is not your conditioning. The silence or stillness beneath the fray of daily life. In the language of pranayama, we had a shodhana practice, a cleansing practice. And then we just had a pacifying practice, which is called a langana practice, which helps to quiet the mind. And then we have practices that are for building, called brahmana practices. So one of those is ujjayi. So we're going to do an ujjayi practice now, where we're balancing the length of the inhale with the length of the exhale. And I'm going to ask you to sense that at the top of your inhale, the in-breath has been completed, but the mechanism of inhale is still there. And then smoothly transition to your exhale. At the bottom of the exhale will have been completed, but the mechanism or the musculoskeletal action of exhale is still there. And then smoothly transition to inhale. So watch those little silent pauses. If I draw the breath, it's like a hairpin turn, right? There's the inhale, little pause, exhale. That's little pause, inhale. Okay, we'll balance the in-breath with the out-breath. So place the tip of the tongue behind the top 2 teeth. If this helps you as a beginner for ujjayi, it's often helpful to have some of the instructions. If you're practiced, don't worry about the instructions. But you place the tip of the tongue behind the top 2 teeth, and that makes it easier to depress the tongue at the back of the throat. I recently had a reason for a medical evaluation. I can't recall why, but I still have all my tonsils, and this person was noting that I still have tonsils. So I guess that's how it turned out. You're gonna lower the base of the tongue like you're doing the ah at the doctor's office. Ah, oh no, I went to the dentist. That's how he was looking. So the thing is that you're not going to be going ah because your mouth is going to be closed. So the tip of the tongue goes behind the teeth, the tongue goes down, the back of the throat is made more hollow, it's more open. And so the sound in the back of the throat is going to be a hollow whispering sound. That is what Ujjayi sounds like. Okay, let's begin. You'll want the sound to be smooth and silky, the back of the throat open and hollow. You'll hear your own breath sound. You'll not be able to hear mine because it's an internal sound, not an external raspy sound. It's not like Darth Vader, if you've ever heard that. As you aim to make the inhale equal to the exhale, a reminder that not only do the sutras tell us to observe the unaltered breath, but another remedy is to make the breath smooth and consistent. Make the exhale equal to the length of your inhale. Don't slow down the end of the exhale. Slow down at the beginning of your exhale. Don't pressure the end of the exhale. It makes the sympathetic nervous system turn back on too soon. And you can complete with your next round of Ujjayi breathing. And once again, sit quietly and notice the unaltered breath. Also observe if you have any glimpse of the inner quiet of the heart, any glimpse of compassion or loving kindness or equanimity or stillness. Now we're going to do a practice where excuse me as I turn off a sound. There we go. So we're going to do a practice now where we use chanting to help increase vagal tone, last a little longer in the exhale, because when you're singing, the breath is longer during exhale. You have greater access to your transverse abdominis. We're also going to use the sounds of the chakras. So starting at the first chakra, the sound there for the Bij mantra is Lam, L-A-M. And as we chant that, we want to be rhythmic, consistent. What is said in the Yoga Sutras is, practice making the breath more smooth and consistent. Practice clearing the mind of unhelpful thoughts. You can meditate on having a clear stream of consciousness versus a like rippling brook of thoughts and problems. You can practice noticing the unaltered breath. And these are all considered practices to help alleviate the restlessness, pain, sadness, and dis-ease in the body resulting from the 9 obstacles. So we're in the Yoga Sutras here, 1.3 up to 1.39. The 9 obstacles are mentioned. From the 9 obstacles, we have the 4 symptoms, and those are irregularity of breathing, the feeling of restlessness in the body, experiences of pain in the body can be there too, and then sadness and frustration. And so those are things like anxiety, depression, and so on in modern life. And then what's recommended are the Brahmaviharas, practices of compassion and loving kindness and so on. And as well, how we work with the breath in the way that we're doing this morning. So we use this chanting practice to help elicit an internal vibration that helps you eradicate the conditioning, at least temporarily, and give us a glimpse of that which we actually most deeply are. Place your index finger and thumb together. And starting with the sound Lam, L-A-M. Lam, 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 Lam. Lam, 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 Lam. Lam, 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 Lam. Lam, 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 Lam. Lam 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 lam. Lam 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 lam. Lam 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 lam. Lam 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 lam. Lam 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 lam. Bring the hands into the mudra for the second chakra, Svadhisthana chakra. The sound is WAM, spelled V-A-M, pronounced with a W, according to my English ears, my Western ears. So the sound is WAM. Wam, 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 wam. Wam, 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 wam. Wam, 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 wam. Wam, 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 wam. Wum 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 wum. Wum 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 wum. Wum 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 wum. Coming to the third chakra, palms together, thumbs overlapping. The sound is rum, and you have to roll the R to make the sound. You just do your best. Ram, 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 ram. Ram, 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 ram. Ram, 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 ram. Ram, 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 ram. Ram, 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 ram. Now the mudra for the fourth chakra. The sound is yam, Y-A-M. Yum, 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 yum. Yum, 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 yum. Yum, 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 yum. Yum, 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 yum. Yum, 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 yum. Yum, 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 yum. And return to silence. And come to stillness, resting in that which is already abiding in your heart. And raise your hands to your heart. So may we experience karuna, upekshanam, maitri, mudita, the divine qualities of the heart, the Brahmaviharas. Thank you very much, everyone. Namaste. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me and with the community. If this has been helpful to you, please don't forget to hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel so we can keep sending you notifications for when we have new classes coming out. If you have questions or comments, I do enjoy seeing those down below the video. Thank you very much. See you in the next class.